declassified documents is something else that is being reported in the news as well. And Columbia University's deal with the White House is met with mixed reaction. The Guardian is calling it extortion and all along those lines. And the Trump administration has killed the Obama era speed limit plan. So definitely that is something else going on as well. And ICE is moving to shackle some 180,000 immigrants with GPS ankle monitors. So definitely looks like they're trying to monitor folks using GPS and all along those lines. The Texas Attorney General claimed three homes as primary residence. Democrats are being probed for similar reasons. So definitely the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and his wife Angela are longtime owners of a $1.5 million house in a gated community outside Dallas. And in 2015, they snapped up a second home in Austin, then another. So that's definitely something that folks are talking about out of that area. The Epstein files are rolling the House GOP, and there's no end in sight. So definitely, folks are paying attention to what's going on in the case of Epstein. And apparently, this whole trend of ghosting is out, and the speed dumping, which I guess is like you just dump several people at a time, is in. So apparently, these trends that the young people have are always constantly changing as well. And apparently, Thailand and Cambodia are fighting at the border, and folks are trying to figure out what that's all about and why they are fighting and all in that way. And NVIDIA AMD CEOs rally behind President Trump's AI action plan. So it looks like he's getting support from some major people in that sense. And Zelensky responds to growing anti corruption protests in Ukraine. Critics fear that a law passed this week will neuter two anti corruption bodies. And definitely that's folks that are talking about as well. And Eric Menendez of the famous Menendez brothers has been hospitalized with a serious condition. So that is something that is coming out of that particular case and all in that way. And according to the USA Today, there was an article that's saying that immigrants are being forced to eat like a dog in some of these detention centers and all along those lines. And looks like the data nerds, and I know that sometimes Rick can be a data nerd, are fighting back after watching data sets be altered or disappeared from U.S. government websites in unprecedented ways after President Trump began his second term. An army of outside statisticians and demographers and others are fighting back. So it looks like there are some data nerds racing to save U.S. government statistics. And China G urges Europe to make the right strategic choice amid some of the global turmoil. And RNC Chair Michael Whatley is to run for the North Carolina Senate seat. I know there's been some speculation about Alara Trump running for that seat as well and everything in that space. And I think Roy Cooper is supposed to make a decision later today as to whether he'll be running. And he is the former Democratic governor from here in North Carolina. So we'll see if he's decided to run or not. And after Cleveland Clinic was expanded to Florida, patients say surprise fees awaited them as well. And the mastermind behind the college admission scam is back to advising folks as well. So it looks like that's going on also. Outdoor work in Southern Europe's tourist hotspots is becoming hellish. So if those folks that are working out in the roads and in construction and stuff like that, apparently it is becoming quite hellish in that sense. So cooler heat is baking Southern Europe as the continent slips deeper and deeper into summer and all along those lines. So definitely that is something that folks are paying attention to in homes and offices. Air conditioning is sweet relief, but under the scorching sun, outdoor labor can be grueling, brutal, and occasionally even deadly. Matter of fact, I think they were talking to one person that was a sweet sweeper and all along those lines. And it looks like the downwardly mobile elites love Zohran Mamdani over there in the New York area and all along those lines. So we'll definitely see what goes on in that space. And court rules against Trump's birthright citizenship rule that he was trying to get passed, so they ruled against him in that particular case. And police documents released after Brian Kohlberger's sentencing detailed strange happenings week before. And I know folks were looking for an answer from him as to why he committed that crime. But when I was watching another newscast, it doesn't look like he answered whatsoever. And definitely the family members were letting him know in no uncertain terms how they felt about him and all along those lines. But definitely doesn't look like he gave any answer as to the reasoning behind that crime. And United Health says it is under a federal investigation and they are cooperating. So that is something that is going on as well. And France's first couple sue Candace Owens for defamation over claims that Bridget Macron is a man. So a lawyer for France's first couple says they'll be seeking substantial damages from U.S. conservative influencer Candace Owens if she persists with the claims that President Emmanuel Macron's wife, Bridget, is a man. So this is definitely something going on as well. And a flight attendant who filmed girls in the plane bathrooms was sentenced to 18 and a half years. So that's something else going on also. I'm going to bring in Dr. Sharif and also Rick Rosner and see what they've got going on in their world and all along those lines. So how are you doing, Rick?
I'm all right, except my wife gave me a bunch of shit for saying bad things about Trump because she doesn't want us to get arrested. So from now on, I'm going to bring you the good news about Trump. And here's some very good news. Federal investigators say that more than 1,000 girls, some as young as 14, were abused on Epstein Island. 150 of those girls got money from a victims' compensation fund. But out of all those girls, only 2 of them committed suicide. That's a very low average. Only 2 were traumatized to the point, I mean, they're all traumatized for life, but only 2 of them killed themselves. So good job, Donald Trump. You didn't, I guess, really, you only partially destroyed a bunch of girls.
Only partially destroyed, but the other thing that's going on is that apparently ICE is going to be shackling some 180,000 immigrants with GPS ankle monitors. So I'm still trying to figure out how that's going to work and how they're going to manage to get this achieved and everything like that. So what's your thoughts on this idea of 180,000 immigrants with these ankle bracelets?
It's good news. They couldn't figure out a way just to track them via their phones. They have to do it a cruel and obnoxious way. And most of these people are not criminals. It's not a criminal thing to be in the United States. It's a civil offense. But it's really a cheap and easy way to humiliate some people who didn't commit any crimes.
Yeah, it's a good way to do that and everything like that. I mentioned earlier that I remember there was a time, and I know Dr. Sharif, you work with a lot of young people, this idea of ghosting, which means that you just disappear on somebody, was very popular. And Hannah George apparently was once ghosted by a man she had been seeing for several weeks. She never wanted to make anyone else feel that way. So she adopted a new approach, texting guys after mediocre first dates to say she wasn't interested. So recently, the 24-year-old nutrition assistant in New York was on the receiving end of such a text. A man she'd been out with once sent a paragraph-long message about how he just spent time with his family, how it made him nervous about what he wanted in a relationship, and how he couldn't be with her. So apparently, this is all part of this new movement that is out there that is called speed dumping. So apparently, you could just do this instead of ghosting somebody, where you just kind of disappear and everything like that. So apparently, singles aren't practically racing to let their online matches know that they aren't a match, but apparently this is a trend. So what are your thoughts?
Okay, I mean, I'm 35 years past dating, unless you count dates I go on with my wife, and I'm sure she wants to dump me sometime, but she doesn't tell me that. She keeps that to herself.
She keeps that to herself. What are you hearing about that in Bangladesh, Sharif? Are a lot of people either ghosting, which means that they're just totally disappearing, or they sending explanatory text in order to say that you're nice, but you're not nice enough. I don't want to deal with you and everything like that. So how are they dealing with this concept in Bangladesh? No.
Oh, you're.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, pretty much. You could use a little more volume.
We can use a little bit more volume, but we can hear you. No, that would actually went the opposite direction.
All right. So I just looked up dating apps in Bangladesh. You guys have 171 million people, which is a lot of people, which means that people must have successfully dated in the history of Bangladesh. And I looked it up, and you have a ton of dating apps. You got Tinder, Bumble, Badoo, OkCupid, Coffee Meets Bagel, Dill Mill, and Murchie. So dating seems to be going strong in Bangladesh.
It seems to be going real strong and everything like that. Seems like they got a lot of dating apps.
Can you hear me now?
We hear you a lot clearer. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Rick. You joined in my team. Last week, John attacked me. He sent me a lot of email why I say Trump is good. Because I am academician. I work with many researchers and scientists in USA. I do not want to lose my capacity and all of the things. I want to say Trump doing excellent job in USA. And there is another opportunity for Trump if he can go for ceasefire and all of the things. You know that in Asia, Thailand and Cambodia border right now it has clashes.
Right.
Deadly clashes interrupt near the disputed Mr. Tom's area, leaving at least 12 Thai civilians and one soldier dead. And there are a lot of clashes in between Thailand and Cambodia. And I think there is now a great opportunity that U.S. Diplomat they can contribute, Trump can contribute, and they can do another ceasefire, which is very important right now. Besides that, there are some news from Asia. Yesterday, I just shared that Asian Development Bank revised its growth outlook for developing Asia and Pacific 4.7 in 2025 from 4.9%. And they predict 2026 for 4.6 because of US tariff, geopolitical tension, supply chain issue, high energy price, and China property market is not working properly. So I think many people, many businessmen right now, they are very interested to negotiate with US market, especially with the Donald Trump. Even businessmen, they say if government fail to negotiate with Trump, we are ready to negotiate with the Trump to solve these complex issues because it has a very big impact. And you know that I live in Bangladesh. Near Bangladesh, uh, uh, it's India. India is one of the largest community. During the visit of UK, Indian Prime Minister Modi warned that the current era is one of the development, not expand shown. So China is with its regional ambitions in Indo-Pacific area with the Belt and Road initiative. So he emphasized India's role in maintaining the rule-based international order. So this is another diplomatic relations in between India and China. And you know the Hindu across South Asia celebrate Haryana Amavasya today. It's a new moon day during the Savan month decided to Lord Shiva, and special prayer, fasting, and rituals were performed due to the alignment of several powerful yogas. Uh, 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 and right now in Dhaka, you know, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, we have s- sports. It's like cricket. So BCCI, Bangladesh Cricket Control Board, has confirmed it's a virtual attendance of ACC meetings today. So this is very important for Asia Cup crickets. And today, Bangladesh and Pakistan they are attending in T20. Until now, Pakistan did 178 runs in 7 wickets. On the other hand, Bangladesh lose 2 wickets in 14 run, but already Bangladesh win the tournament because last two match Bangladesh win. So this is interesting situations with business diplomats, with economical things, with religious activities, with sports in Bangladesh and in Asia. Thank you.
No, appreciate that. And we need to get other reports from other parts of the world, as we also hopefully can get some other folks that are coming in at us from other parts. I know we used to do that regularly, so hopefully we can get some updates from other parts of the globe and everything like that. Hey, Rick, I was teasing you earlier, or teasing at the beginning, because I consider you, because you do a lot of statistics as a data nerd. I don't think your wife would have any problem with that description
Maybe.
and everything like that. But apparently, there is a group of your fellow data nerds that are upset because they've seen some of the data sets be altered or disappeared from U.S. government websites in unprecedented ways after Trump began his second term. So
Yeah,
an army of outside statisticians, demographers, and computer scientists have joined forces to capture, preserve, and share data sets,
yeah, well,
sometimes clandestinely.
this is a great thing. Trump is getting rid of a bunch of data that he finds inconvenient, and this is good because people often get confused by having full sets of data. And by getting rid of the data, people aren't confused. They have nothing to base their conclusions on. So this is one more act of greatness from Trump is censoring data that he doesn't like.
So, John, what do you think about that? Because they're saying that there are such smart, passionate people who deeply care deeply not about not only the Census Bureau but all the statistical agencies and ensuring the integrity of the statistical system, and that gives this particular person is making the quote, which is Mary Jo Mitchell, the Director of Government and Public Affairs for the research nonprofit, the Population Association of America, hope, even during this challenging time. So apparently there's a lot of data misinformation, whether it's around gender, sexual orientation, climate change, and diversity.
COVID. Let's talk about COVID. They're getting rid of a ton of data about COVID. And I used to be able to track COVID numbers in my region and nationwide week to week. But that is being dumped. And so I have no data, so I don't have to worry about COVID as much. I take my chances. A great thing. It saved me so much worry.
Yeah, that's
And I might even have COVID now. I was on a plane with a kid next to a kid who was coughing the whole 4-hour flight, and I had a mask on, but I took it off to like sip drinks and eat, the little snacks they give you. So I don't know, but don't worry, be happy. COVID, only causes permanent disability in 15% of the people who get it.
They're saying that what I didn't realize, and I was watching on the news, that there's actually COVID medicine that you can get that's online. Well, not online, but it's on like the regular TV stations. It used to be that you did not see COVID medicine or medicine that said it could cure COVID being advertised, but I did see that like 3 days ago. It was some medicine that was maybe by Pfizer or one of the other drug companies that said that you could just buy it like you would any other drug at the drugstore, and all along those lines. So this will be interesting to see how this plays out, and if they make any rules around advertising, whether it's with COVID, the way that they did with alcohol and cigarettes and other things. But apparently, I do know I saw at least one, maybe two ads of different.
So COVID has killed 1.4 million Americans. It's the deadliest event in American history, killing more people than people who were killed in all of our wars combined. But Trump has done such a good job at politicizing it that most people don't even realize that, which is a great thing. That we suffered our greatest national tragedy, and we don't even realize it.
Yeah, didn't even realize it because there was a lot of people not paying attention to those statistics. Apparently, Donald Trump is getting ready to do one of his favorite things, and I know John's going to be glad about this because he's always talking about what Trump is doing or not doing and like that. But he's on his way for another golfing trip, but this time it's not to Mar-a-Lago, it's to Scotland. So he's going to go and do some golfing in Scotland, and that is planned, I believe, for this weekend and everything like that. So what should the Scottish people do when he comes over there to golf on their ranges? Because I do know that I think the Riders Cup is sometimes held in Scotland and everything like that, but he's going to go over there and hang out and do some golfing in Scotland. So what's your take on Trump going and golfing in Scotland?
It's just more evidence he's a great guy. Yeah. Things are going so well in America that he's able to take a vacation for golf.
Yeah,
by the way, John, my wife gave me a bunch of shit and said I can't say mean things about Trump anymore. I can only say good things because she doesn't want us to get arrested. So I'm now on Team Trump.
Yeah. So I agree. Trump, all his policies are making America great again. Absolutely, I agree 100%. It's fantastic policies. Get rid of any COVID info, trying to help people out to get data. Yeah. Make it all great.
John, can you hear
Well,
me?
apparently, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, John, like you said that Trump is doing all of the great things. So I need
No,
some person.
no, hold on. I was being sarcastic.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were serious today because Rick
He's
No,
being
no,
already
no,
said
no, no.
Rick
No,
Rick wife Rick wife says you should join Sharif team, otherwise Trump gonna arrest you. So he already is sharing lot of good news about Trump today.
No, I live in Canada. We have rights in Canada. I can this fantastic concept that Trump talks about, freedom of speech, and plus I live in Canada. So Trump is a piece of shit. He's a liar. His policies suck. I hope I'm clear.
Okay, and
Well, here's more
That
good
was very
news
clear
about
and everything.
Here's more good news about Trump. So every 18 months or so, they survey a couple hundred presidential historians of some conservative, some liberal, some moderate about who would they rank the presidents from best to worst. And out of the 5 times that Trump has been ranked, he came in dead last twice. He came in second to last, second to worst, third to worst, and fourth to worst. But the good news is those historians have been too intimidated to do a survey since February of last year. And I think it's because they're scared of what might happen to them and their universities if they release another survey that shows that Trump is among the worst presidents. And that's good news that we're able to intimidate these eggheads into not doing surveys.
Yeah, it's
really,
not
isn't that-
good to have data and information. So let's not put
Go ahead,
any
yeah.
information out to the public. Again, I'm being sarcastic, right?
Yeah.
No information at all. I know you've been sarcastic and everything. And Rick is trying to maintain relationships with his wife so that she doesn't get kicked out of the house and everything like that. So we understand what's going on in all
Here's a fun story. The Sandia National Labs are working on a shipping container that can safely transport nuclear weapons. So people they can be transported without looking like a nuke that's being transported. And I can see no way that this could go wrong, that you're putting a nuke in a shipping container. Nobody's ever stolen a shipping container. So that's pretty fun.
Nobody's ever stolen a shipping container?
I haven't looked it up, but I assume out of the shipping container is designed to be easily transported. You throw it on a truck or a train, and then you're out of there. I don't see how that could lead to nuclear bombs going missing.
Yeah, I don't know about that or anything. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out. I did see that in New York there is a red Trump that is out there. So apparently there is coming out of a manhole of all things. But there is a new red Trump that has popped up there in New York. So I'm guessing this is somebody's idea of artwork and all along those lines. So, but it is totally red, and it is a statue of President Trump. But apparently it came out of a manhole there in New York. So I guess maybe some other people came through the tunnel and through the manhole and put it up in some part of New York. But yeah, it is totally red. I'm trying to think the symbolism of the red. I think that might be the party color for the Republicans. I'm trying to remember.
All right, so South Park just signed a $1.5 billion deal for 5 years, $300 million a year for the next 5 years to continue making episodes of South Park, which is almost $1 million a day. And they immediately kind of spit on the hand that feeds them by putting up a new episode where Trump is naked with a teeny tiny penis and having an affair with Satan. that it used to be that on South Park, it used to be that Satan and Saddam Hussein were boyfriends in a relationship, but they've replaced Saddam Hussein with Trump and given him the tiniest of penises. And I'm just glad that Trump can live rent free in our heads. That even South Park would put out this celebration of Trump.
Yeah, Rick.
Yeah, it is. I was just going to say for Sheriff, Rick, obviously he's now part of Team Trump. I'm sure he's not being sarcastic.
Okay.
So
Okay.
maybe American Canadian humor doesn't translate that well, but Rick is not on Team Trump. Just to be
Okay.
clear.
No, I'm very much on Team Trump. Go Trump. Go Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Rick, I want to share one news. Definitely, it's relevant with the Trump initiative. UN top four declared the right to a clean and sustainable environment a fundamental human right. What's your thoughts about that? Because what I know that Trump do not like uh, this kind of climate change related projects initiative. He do not trust. But the top level court in UN they said this is human right. So what's your thoughts?
So, I mean, Trump again is adding clarity to our environmental regulations by getting rid of thousands of environmental regulations, which should make it easier to enforce the few hundred that remain. Again, he is adding clarity and making America a better place.
Mhm. Okay, very interesting. But there is another in- interesting news from Asia. India has issuing tourist visa to China nationalities after 5 years break. So this is a very good diplomatic relationship in between India and China. India is inviting tourists from China. So do you think in the future Trump administrations give a warm welcome to China to USA or make it
Well,
diplomatic?
okay. Trump gets mad at China and India because they still burn a lot of coal. So he wants the US to mine and burn a ton of coal so we keep up with them, even though the US, it's a dying industry in the US and we only have 50,000 coal miners left. We have more people, doing wind energy and solar energy than we do coal miners. But Trump is bringing clean, beautiful coal back.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
coal is wonderful for the environment, as we all know. So
Okay.
what Trump is doing, I changed my mind. I'm going to be Team Trump. Yeah. So I think I'm going along with Rick because he's made wonderful points, and you guys,
But
the world needs more coal to burn. Absolutely.
yeah, but John, when I say Trump policy create a good opportunity for Bangladesh, you send me lot of email, you argue with me, you have lot of
I'm being sarcastic, Sharif. I'm being sarcastic.
okay.
I'm trying to support my friend Rick. He's now on Team Trump, and I'm trying to support him. Again, Trump sucks at his job. I hate his policies. I hate him. He's now been more implicated with the Epstein files. He's a piece of shit, and I don't. I'm disheartened with Trump supporters, and I know
So
Rick is
now,
not a Trump supporter.
Bangladesh is lagging the US because I just looked it up. Bangladesh only has one active coal mine in the whole
Yeah,
country,
yeah,
which probably can't employ more than a couple thousand people. You are lagging us in clean, beautiful coal.
yeah. But things is that we are buying all of our LNG, 60% of our energy is from Chevron. So Chevron is US corporation, right?
Yes.
So US has very strong contributions or business relationship with Bangladesh energy and all of the things. If Trump say you have to develop two, three, or four coal, Bangladesh will do. Why not? This is absolutely, you are absolutely right.
So and there's one more use for coal. The toughest coal can be turned into mourning jewelry. So if you die from pollution, they can carve. This is a Victorian thing. Coal is very very black, and the Victorians loved jewelry to commemorate the dead, and people died like crazy in the Victorian era. And so we need to mine coal just so we can make jewelry for people, black jewelry for people who are sad about the people who died, from lax environmental regulation.
I
And
have
that's
one.
why we need more coal. Yeah,
Yeah.
more coal in the world for sure.
Yeah, in USA you have a lot of coal plant.
I don't know. I don't think we have many coal plants, maybe half a dozen. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, if Bangladesh develop coal, then China will do business with this coal power plant, and Australia may do this coal power plant business with Bangladesh. Some point, I think Malaysia also do this.
Oh, I'm way off. We have 290
Yeah,
coal power plants in the U.S.
it's a huge, huge.
Yeah,
And
Bangladesh needs to up its game. Only one. Come on, catch up.
And I can tell you, looking at the map, that these coal-powered plants, they are places where poor people live who don't have a lot of political power to get the coal-powered plants to shut down.
Rick, you right now definitely John and Pot TV, everyone are very popular in Bangladesh. You are special popular in Bangladesh. I just shared your comments about Bangladesh. You are trying to explain how Bangladesh can improve the economic and all of the things. So I see you are very smart man. Uh, Previous week I see you are part of Emmy Award. Right now you are part of Mega Society. So if I want to join this Republican Party as a Bangladeshi, can I join in USA or is there any scope?
I believe you can. Now, you can't register as a Republican voter because you're not a citizen of the United States, but you can certainly join Republican organizations. I was a Republican for, I don't know, probably 8 months because I had a girlfriend back when I was like 21 who was a Republican. This was back in the 80s, though, but when the Republicans were mostly sane. That she had a very nice family. They were all Republican. Her mom was a powerful Republican lobbyist, and in the state house in Denver. And I loved those guys. And my
Yeah,
parents were Republicans again back in the 80s, and back then you could be a Republican and not believe in a ton of nonsense. Uh,
interesting. But Rick, you are the smartest man in the world, right? You have second highest IQ. But what
so
I understand from today's show, you
so
only listen your girlfriend and your wife. So
so
you don't
my,
have your own choice.
yeah, my IQ is not the same thing as smartness, and so
Oh,
I
okay.
do a ton of stupid stuff. So IQ is the very highest level is how desperate you are to have some kind of accolade, some kind of achievement. It's not really an achievement because I took all these tests that take like 100 hours each, where you figure out these very hard problems. If I were truly smart, I wouldn't waste time on the tests. I'd try to figure out how to make positive change in the world. But no, I waste my abilities on these ridiculous tests. So
So that's why you took your help from your wife or from your girlfriend to take the decision.
yeah,
John, what about you? I am very interested to know this thing because Rick is really, really smart, high IQ people. I go to classroom, I say, hey, do you know I know world highest IQ people? His name is Rick Rosner. So now he said he has high IQ, but if he take decision based on his wife and girlfriend. But I like to. I'm also like Rick. I'm not different. My wife also influenced me. My wife also guide me. So I appreciate it because you are family person. I respect it. It does not mean like I am actually demotivate you. But John, what about you? How you take decision?
I've never taken an IQ test. I know Nick is a chess master, so he's obviously very, very smart, and he knows a lot of things, obviously, and his brain is so big, and he's a royal. He's a royal, so he comes from royalty. So that means a lot to everybody, you know. So again, you know, people like Nick, who are smart, who's his family came from monarchy, very smart person. So everything he says is correct, 100% correct. We should never question his ability to steer us and make America great again.
Well, I have one quick thing, and then we should check in with Sasha. Well, shoot, I forgot my one quick thing. So let's go to Sasha.
Sasha, there is interesting discussion today. Rick joined in my team. I'm from
Team
small
Trump,
country.
because my
Yeah,
wife,
Team Trump.
my
Team Trump.
wife yelled at me saying, "You can't
Yeah.
keep going on this show and dissing Trump. We are going to get arrested." So now I'm on Team Trump. I'm only saying good things about him.
John also joined in Team Trump. What's your thought?
Yeah, I'm joining Team Trump as well because here in Canada, I'm scared too that Trump is going to take over Canada, and then, you know, my family is going to be negatively impacted. So, yeah, I'm thinking about strongly joining Team Trump. You know, again, sarcasm.
It seems to me you're trying to develop some kind of a comedy show, but you know the level is very low. You're not doing a great job, guys. Okay, sorry to say.
That's I agree. I mean, yeah, I guess.
So why you do something when you're so lousy about it? Just stop doing that. Do something positive, something good that you can excel and you can provide.
Speaking
Some
of positive,
information, please. Just provide
You
information.
know what it is, Sasha? After a while, you get so frustrated with the MAGA that you have to have, you know, one day a year, and this is today, where you gotta bullshit and say stupid things and stuff like I'm going to join Team Trump. That's why it comes out of frustration dealing with these MAGA idiots day after day, and hearing them deflect, distract, support Trump. I'm sick of it.
Hey, John, speaking of MAGA idiots and deflecting and all along those lines, one of the other stories that I brought up when I was doing the news brief is apparently Candace Owens has been spending a lot of time in other people's bedrooms because she's now saying that the French president's wife is not actually a woman, but is a man. And I'm trying to figure out how she would even know that because she's in the United States, and last time I checked, and the French president's wife is in France. So everything like that. So Rick, any thoughts around this? Because apparently,
Whether this lawsuit, the First Lady of France is suing Candace Owens,
right.
and whether this succeeds depends on what the libel laws are in France. Like the US, it's really hard to libel or slander somebody. It's hard to prove that. In England, the laws are stronger and you can actually win a case. I don't know, I guess I could look it up, how easy it is to win a slander or a libel case in France. But it would be, great to see her go down for this ridiculous bullshit.
Yeah.
She's also very anti-Semitic. She's anti-Semitic. I mean, terrible what she said about Jews. Just some of the remarks and comments that she's made. Awful person again.
Speaking of that,
Okay, so I looked it up, and this says that French defamation laws are generally considered strong, with a focus on protecting individual reputation and dignity.
A question, and this is to John, but also maybe Sasha knows because he's in Canada as well. I know, and I'm a non-driver, that there are certain states that have very tight rules about cell phone use, and also the whole notion of driving while having a cell phone. But you've also seen women that are doing their hair and other things and everything like that. So nuclear toxicity, one of our regular people says that he likes your speech, John, but he's wondering about your recklessness behind the wheel. So what is the rules around cell phone use and driving in Canada? Because I don't know what the rules are there. I know that they can be tight in certain parts of the United States.
All you have to do is to use a speakerphone, and you can
Yeah,
talk.
I'm on speakerphone, so I should be fine. As long as I keep my eyes ahead and not look at the phone, I should be good.
The laws in Los Angeles are toothless because your first offense for driving while being on the phone is like $50 plus another $100 for court costs. And you know, if you're driving a BMW, if you work at a movie studio, $150 is nothing.
Yeah, that's nothing at all.
Also, we don't have enough cops, which is good if you want to drive like an asshole because odds are fairly low that you'll get caught.
You know, we're talking about Nick earlier and everything like that, and one of the stories that I mentioned, and I didn't know how much they agreed to pay until I'm now seeing a further update on the story and everything. But what is our thoughts around Columbia University agreeing to pay $200 million fine to settle their dispute with the Trump administration over protests and everyone like that? So what is
This is another good thing about Trump, that we've never had a mob boss as president before. And he is able to squeeze tens of millions of bucks out of TV companies, you know, CBS. He's able to squeeze a couple hundred out of Columbia, or no, Harvard. And it's good to have a mob guy who's able to, you know.
But he doesn't win all his cases, because apparently he lost the case around birthright citizenship and everything like that. So the appeals court upheld the block against Trump's effort to end birthright citizenship. But I'm trying to figure out why he would even want to deal with that, because I'm thinking that he's got at least 2 folks or maybe 3 folks in his family that would probably fall within the birthright citizenship, since they were, because wasn't one of them born in another country and then came over, and then their kids were born in this country? I forget how the birthright citizenship works, but I do think that at least a couple of the Trump kids would fall into the current rules, if I'm remembering correctly.
Just Trump throws a bunch of stuff at the wall, hundreds of things since he became president. Some things stick and he wins, and some things he loses. And all the things going on confuse people, so they can't focus on any one horrible thing that he's doing. And this is a great strategy. You know, Biden just did a few things and hid out in the White House because he's not a good speaker, and he was afraid that, you know, if he gave a public address and he stumbled over some words, Fox News would edit a bunch of times where he verbally stumbled and make him look like he's losing it. So, you know, Trump is out in front of people saying whatever he wants every day. And
many of my fellow panelists into oranges, whether it's orange juice or oranges in general, because apparently, speaking of Trump, and they are saying that with this 50% tariff, that the Brazilian citrus market is about to be hit hard. And I know we have some fruit and oranges that come from Florida and other parts, but apparently, if they're going to get hit hard, I'm thinking that the price of oranges could go high, because they're talking about a 50% tariff against Brazil. So the new tariff could make it impossible for they're saying certain Brazilian fruit to enter the U.S., which buys 42% of the orange juice exported from Brazil. So we buy apparently 42%.
So this is another great thing that Trump is doing. Orange juice is bad for you. It's really high in sugar. You should drink water instead of juice. Juice just fills you with sugar. It contributes to diabetes. So by making it really hard for us to have orange juice, Trump is saving America.
Anti-orange juice is saving America. Okay. That's all it
And then there's one, I remember the point I was going to make, that we're talking about my IQ and how smart I am. It doesn't freaking matter how smart any human is in the future, because however smart any human is, we're going to be way stupider than AI, or way stupider than humans who get linked to AI.
Well,
and so
speaking of AI and everything like that, I was watching a sports commentary, and I know that there are certain sports that folks are into in this network, be it soccer. I think that Sasha follows soccer and definitely follows other sports. We have some people that follow cricket and everything, but it was a baseball game. It was a game that was in the American baseball and all along those lines. And they were saying that they are hoping that robot AI is on the way because it was a clip of 5 pitches. All the pitches were clearly not strikes, but they called them strikes. So the person actually got called out, even though they should have probably walked. And the whole notion was that they're hoping that AI umpires are on the way. So, what is our thoughts around AI umpires or AI referees in any sport because of the fact that we as humans are fallible and everything
All
like
right.
that?
So in a normal baseball game, more than 300 pitches are thrown, and if an umpire is right about 95% of them, he's going to be wrong about like 15 pitches. And yeah, it's frustrating for people. So I don't know. Will a robot,
Rick,
baseball better? I don't know.
Rick, I have a better idea for my country. Even in futures, I think the U.S. president can follow these things. Soon we have election. So I'm just thinking if I run as a candidate, let's say Prime Minister of Bangladesh, I want to take my uh, my partner as AI, like a vice prime minister, deputy prime minister with me, and AI can develop better policy for Bangladesh. AI can develop better uh, strategy for Bangladesh, and through this process, maybe we can develop new political system. Do you think it's viable if USA follow this way, that USA president and presidential candidate or the politician, they took AI as their teammate or their running mate?
So I mean, that's an issue we'll deal with in the future, where like Joe Biden is an old guy, Trump is an old guy, and in the future, old guys will get chips in their head that will help their brains work more effectively. And if these people are politicians, then people are going to be very concerned about who is running the chips in their heads. That if, like if Elon Musk is the supplier of brain chips, you know, he might be able to tweak, the brains of people in politics and get them to do what he wants.
Apparently yesterday, and I meant to do it, but I did not. I think it was around 9 o'clock or something like that Eastern Standard Time. You could literally watch some of the Elon Musk satellites being in the orbit in Eastern North Carolina because they were our local newscasters were saying. I think it was like 9:10 and 9:15. If you stepped outside, you could literally see them almost as if they were stars in the sky and everything. But you could recognize them as being satellites because apparently he was putting out one of his satellite arrays for internet and everything like that, and you could see this on yesterday. I got a question for everybody, including Doc and Dr. Sharif and everything, because you are in a poor country and everything like that, and apparently we're going to be burning some contraceptives and everything because there were U.S. funded contraceptives worth nearly $10 million that are being sent to France from Belgium to be incinerated because Washington rejected offers from the United Nations and the organizations to buy or ship the supplies to poor nations where they probably could have been used to help with the birth control situations in those nations. I'm assuming that these are still workable contraceptives and everything like that. But the U.S. government is going to spend $167,000 to incinerate the stocks at a facility in France that handles the medical waste, is what the U.S. State Department is saying. So doesn't this seem like a waste of some very good contraceptives that could have been used to help some of these poor nations control high birth rates and everything like that? That's just what I would think, but I'm not in those countries. But that is getting rid of these folks in the poor. I mean, it is stopping them in the poor countries. So,
Yeah, just one point. One point I just want to add. Like now, populism is growing, right? Even in Bangladesh, if you see why the young people they come to the politics because they do not want corruptions. And what happened? Billion and billion dollars, Bangladeshi politicians, businessmen, they took outside Bangladesh, right? On the other hand, Western world definitely through USA, US support our uh, local economy, support our poor peoples, and support our things. Uh, what Trump did in a short term is very bad for our economy because Many poor people will be affected because of that. In long term, it's good for Bangladesh because Bangladesh has to understand now nobody helping any other. We have to develop our own economy. We have to develop our own healthcare, own education system. We have to fix our own problems. Yes, we can invite US businessmen to invest in Bangladesh, but definitely it should be like real business. We need to give them financial return. So, in one sense, it's good for Bangladesh. So, it's good for poor countries. They have to develop their own economy. So, now populism is growing. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, that makes sense and everything. Hey,
So
Sasha,
the U.S. This is $10 million worth of contraceptives that was intended to go to poor countries to give
right.
people some control over their reproduction, and we're going to spend close to $200,000 to destroy all this stuff. Um,
Ju- just I just apply for a grant. It's called business diplomacy. US stop grant for this kind of things, but US provide very small grant like 24 to $25,000. I do not know. I will win. But what we are doing, right? We are doing diplomacy, open dialogue. We can apply for this kind of grant. So they are focusing the big cities like Dhaka, like Chittagong, like Khulna, or this kind of big cities, and they said US want to do a better business partner for Bangladesh. So they want to provide grant, but for business diplomacy. I think this is meaningful. This is meaningful to grow business.
well,
Strategy-wise, very
we got a
meaningful.
question for Rick and everything. Somebody's asking whether he's been considered becoming active in political platforms recently. I know that at one time you were
well,
active, and I think your wife.
I've been a little active during political campaigns. I joined my wife filling out postcards urging people to vote. I found that that was like a huge waste of time. You get maybe 12 postcards done in an hour. So I would go on Twitter and share my political stances. I feel like I could reach more people that way? Did I change anybody's minds? I don't know. But if every tweet I send out, well, I used to get a lot more action before Musk took over and chased a lot of people off of Twitter. But if every tweet I put out gets a couple thousand views, and if I do, you know, 10 of those a day leading up to an election, that's more than 10,000 views.
Yeah. That makes sense and everything. Hey, Sasha, just really quickly, I see that Russians, of course, are always in the news, and one of the reasons they're in the news today and everything is that apparently in Russia, the Russians are going to face fines if they search online for extremist content under a new law that tightens censorship and could have sweeping ramifications for digital privacy and the fate of WhatsApp in that particular country. And I know that I've been given reading tapes, I think, from Ukraine and everything like that, but some of them he may be getting from Russian sources as well. But I just wondering, is this going to make it harder for us to get some of the reports that we've been getting with this tightened regulation coming from Russia and everything like that? Because apparently they don't want people in their country searching for the truth.
Mark, unfortunately, you take bits and pieces about a little bit here and there. You are completely ignoring the big picture. The big picture is that the country that has nuclear weapons can ignore all world together. They don't give a damn what people think in US or Europe or anywhere else. They just don't. Last night, they destroyed a huge number of buildings in Odessa. It's my home city.
Okay.
And it's going unpunished. Nobody even say a word. Please stop it. So while they're having a peace, so-called negotiations with Ukrainians in Istanbul, they are completely destroying Ukraine. Now, mind you, interestingly enough, they don't really kill a lot of people in all this bombardment of Odessa last night. Maybe 2-3 people died. Some of them were wounded because people are going to hide themselves in bunkers and avoid this. But the buildings, they cannot hide. So the buildings are being destroyed. All Ukraine is suffering because of that, and nobody gives a damn about it. And even if they do, there is nothing they can do. They have to swallow it and say, Mr. Putin, do as you please.
Is Putin running out of resources in any time in the next
Doesn't matter. He will have resources for next 10 years, because even if he's getting short of resources, as you alluded, they will rob their own population. They will expropriate all money in the banks that people are holding there. So for 10 next years, he has more than enough money to continue, unfortunately.
Yeah, but we still got those threatened tariffs that are being threatened by Trump and everything like that. Apparently, he's still throwing that out there, and I know he threw that out there about a week and a half ago and everything like that. And I know that you've been keeping track of the date, because I think it was like 50 days, which would put it in August and everything like that. But that seems to be a lot of hot air from Trump as well and everything like that. So is that your perception of it, that there will be no real agreement between or force put on Russia through tariffs, or that he's just doing that to appease his base? Sasha.
It's hard to say what's happened by the end of this 50 days, which we are talking about September 1st or something. What? Sanctions? They don't work. There is no that they will work this time. Sending weapons to Ukraine. Well, they're sending them right now, so if they will sell more, I don't know if it will change drastically the situation. What may change situation though is if Ukraine will get enough attacking systems, those they can inflict considerable damage on Russian sieges, such as Moscow, for example. That could change something. Other than that, I don't believe it. Change anything.
Yep. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes and everything along those lines. Here to wrap up, we got about another minute to go and everything like that. And the only other story that I saw is apparently another rapper is in the news, but this time it's for his Spirit venture. So 50 Cent's Spirit venture was nearly at the brink of closure, according to Fox 5. And now the outlet notes that the rapper and Power executive, which is that TV show, has been in a court battle over the loss of millions of dollars in an alleged embezzlement scheme. So it looks like he might be getting involved in this whole notion around an embezzlement scheme, and we'll see if he's able to keep his company, Sire Spirits, going or not. So he sounds like he might be having some financial troubles as well, but we'll maintain and keep an eye on that story in terms of entertainment news and see what goes on in that response. And I know people are still trying to figure out what happened in terms of Malcolm Jamal Warner getting caught in that riptide a couple of days ago and all along those lines. So that was very sad news, but a lot of folks are saying that they just try to stay away from the ocean in general because riptides are no joke and all along those lines. So right now we'll get out of here. I know tomorrow we've got a second edition of the the Friday edition of Russia, Ukraine, and China, and all along those lines, which should be another great show. And I know that we'll be looking forward. Hopefully we'll see Ivan. We usually don't see Ivan on Friday, but we didn't see him on Tuesday, so maybe he'll surprise us this time and come on Friday and all along those lines. But I do know he's in Kyiv, and like you said, Kyiv is under attack and everything like that. So that's probably why he's been not in a place, but hopefully we'll see him soon. And we do wish him safety and all along those lines, because he is in the middle of a war zone and all in that space. So definitely, if you're in touch with him, tell him that we at Pod TV are concerned for him and are definitely hoping that he is staying as safe as you can in a war zone.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And on that note, we get ready to get on out of here, and I will see
There's a show at 5 o'clock today.
the show at 5 o'clock. I know we did this past Tuesday because I had a outside engagement, but I don't have an outside engagement today, so we will have a world politics show at 5 o'clock.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.